Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 31 of the Companion to the Companion. You've got your host, Ian and Sam, here with you tonight, and we're going to be discussing 11/14/1995 University of Central Florida, Orlando.
Yes,
This is a
we
very
are.
popular show. It's got an official release, but even before its official release, I believe this was one of the main shows to be leaked out. And it seemed that everybody had heard this. Is that true, Sam?
Yeah, I think we got our first good copies when we lived in La Mesa together. If that sounds right. I remember being in that house with just you and me and Ryan and hearing like the first really good copies there, but I don't remember.
But we had analog tapes before that,
Yeah.
because I heard this pretty early on my journey. But anyhow, it's going to be
Yeah.
an interesting discussion. I
Yeah.
what I believe
Yeah.
to be some hot takes here, people.
Yeah, I as well have hot takes, and it'd be really funny if our hot takes are just side by side, but it very well may be. And
Well, they're
we'll
in the
get
middle
deep
of
into it.
Florida, and I've got to
The
say,
Florida leg of the
yeah,
tour.
the Florida leg. They've played a lot of really amazing shows in Florida. Not sure exactly what that's about. I guess they probably don't even think about it. Maybe they're just excited to be in the sunshine or,
Hmm.
whatever it is. They had a fun day. I know I believe it was in 1996 before the Carl Perazzo thing that they were out, on boats all day, sailing, and probably had an amazing day. And so that perhaps played into why they played so special that night.
Yeah, I
Not
know
sure
this
what happened
show's
on this night, but
indoors.
it's indoors.
It's
Yeah.
it's indoors. It's a little. It's the only time they played there, and it's a little like 5,000 seat basketball arena.
Uh-huh.
And I had forgotten that when they released the official release of the show, they also released video. I don't
Right.
know if you watched any of the video,
I did not.
which I did. I mean, it's like single cam. It's
Yeah.
like how they released New Year's '95 video. It gets boring, like half an hour of watching it. And you're,
Yeah.
like there's not a lot of movement. It goes and sticks on one musician for a while, and I mean it's the best you could do in the mid '90s. But
Right.
I was a little bit underwhelmed. But yeah, it was officially released in 2007, and I think that it helped. I still think the quality of the recording on this show is like I know it's official. I know that it's mixed from the soundboard, but it's kind of Like
Right.
I think it feels a little like tinny and flat in some spots. Doesn't have a lot of warmth to it.
Sure.
Maybe that colored some of how I felt about it, but yeah, it was fine. It sounds much better than the audience recordings
Yeah,
did.
it performed much better on my headphones than it did on my stereo or car stereo, I will say.
Yeah,
So there was something about the intimacy of the headphones that helped. But
yeah,
this show is primarily known for its monster stash. And I think when
yes,
discussing the song Stash, pretty much any fan is going to land here at it being one of the best versions of all time. And we will get into that.
yeah. The most of the second set has headphones in the book, which
Yeah,
is crazy. Like we haven't maybe the Bomb Factory, but we haven't covered a lot of shows that have that many headphones, and I don't know that I agree with all of it, but we'll get there.
right. But the stash itself certainly is of that sort of, bomb factory, if you will. There's a little bit of segueing, and they're
Yeah,
incorporating some other music into this massive type of jam, and they do it quite successfully. But let's start off where we should begin in set one, Sam.
yes,
So let's
first
start
set.
talking about set one, and we are starting off with classic Chalky. Is
Yeah,
there, aside from Runaway Jim and Foam, Chalk Dust Torture is certainly a classic way to open a show. Let's get the energy out, let's rock it out, and they do just that.
yeah. I mean, the first set, like we've been talking, I think was very much like another dream set list. Really well orchestrated, great songs. I loved all of it. I would have loved to have been there, and I thought Chalkdust was a good. It just gets the dust off. Not
Sure.
super out there, not super. I mean, most of this set feels that way. There's some really great moments, but a lot of it was kind of. It felt like that Chalkdust, but good.
Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I would argue that this whole first set, the entire set, is very well played, but
Yes.
I do think it's a little, like, not exciting. It is a great set list. Love Foam, love Billy Breeze,
Mm-hmm.
Esther. I love all these songs. And they're all played with technical proficiency and a confidence and a bigness that maybe wasn't there the year before. But it is, to me, at least to my ears, was lacking a little bit of engaging magic. in terms of
Yeah.
that they were all very well played, but really, I want to say the Julius was like the only song that I thought like had a little extra mustard.
Yeah, there were very little improvising in this set as well.
Yeah.
Maybe in Florida in a basketball arena, they were kind of reading the room and they're like, all right, we're going to play tight, concise, really great music without, they didn't stretch their legs too much. And maybe they went back during the set break and said, all right, let's blow doors set 2 and really stretch it out and go the other way. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of songs in this set that I have little notes on.
Right.
There were little moments that the foam kind of had that plinko jamming,
A little bit, yeah.
which comes later. I thought Billy Breeze had that original intro, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
The slower, kind of pretty intro. Ooh, the both the vocals and the solo were rough in that, though.
Yeah.
Great Divided Sky, great Esther. I always forget. I wrote specifically that Page slays the end of Esther. Like I forget his little
He does.
solo part. That was great. This was like a 9-minute-ish, almost like studio perfect old style Free. We just came off discussing that huge Free a couple shows ago, and this one was really good too.
It is really good,
just
but
short and tight.
But totally standard 95 Free.
Absolutely standard.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Yeah.
And the Julius, upbeat.
Yeah.
Quick tempo, and then there was all Fishman at the end. It was like a solo, just crushing.
Yeah.
And then Blue and Lonesome Acoustic and Cavern. I'm with you. Like manageable, but yeah.
But short of the second set not being totally insane, this maybe doesn't deserve to be on the list. So we're going to have to get into just how insane the second set is.
Yeah.
What else do we want to say about the first set?
That's it.
Let's talk about how it's changed from 94. Trey's tone has changed a little bit. He's got this sort of like watery effect he's using a little bit more often than I remember hearing in some past shows, which I really like.
Yeah, the mini drum kit, I think, is out there to try to pull some different styles. I think that in general, the band sounds just a little more confident, a little more mature, a little bit like we are a bigger band than 94.
Right.
But I didn't, the sound is very similar in many ways. I think they're just starting to play bigger arenas consistently, and they're starting to get more confidence.
Right. Well, I think we can use this conversation to transition into the maze here, because the maze is what opens the second set. And I believe it's got a headphones. It's like 14 minutes. And I was a little nonplussed by the maze. And I'll tell you why. And it's for the reason that we were kind of just discussing. And that it's like bigger, it's more confident, but there's just a little bit less verve to it. There's like a little bit less willingness to do something silly, perhaps. Like the music itself is just quite a bit more serious. And in the middle of Maze, when they're starting to get like Page's solo is really kind of jazzy, some minor key stuff. And then when Trey starts soloing, it does this kind of like rhythmic sort of like cha-cha-cha-cha. It's like choppy, but it didn't like flow for me. It felt more uncomfortable than anything else in a cool way. I'm not saying I really disliked the maze, but usually at that point in the song, they can lift me up to this sort of like euphoric peak. And for some reason, this one didn't happen. And then I thought it was me, so I re-listened to it again, and it was the same way the second time. So, Penny, for your thoughts, Sam.
Yeah, I felt similar. I wrote that it was very metalish at the end, kind of like a little too much guitar, a little too much distortion, and not, bringing the band up, just kind of being out in front of it. I thought it was a little disconnected. I know I think it doesn't have headphones. It was just,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I have it here. No, but it was talked about I think it's on the jam charts for some
Okay,
reason.
gotcha.
But I also was not super impressed by, I mean, there's a lot of things in this set that people laud, all this passion on, and I'm not impressed by. But no, I thought the maze was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I just think as a second set opening maze, I was just expecting something a little bit more.
Yeah, it's weird. Watching the video kind of made me understand the room a little more. And I watched some of the video after I'd listened to the show on headphones, and the room is it felt like a frat boy room a little bit.
Oh,
So
really?
maybe
Okay. Well, yeah.
that could have something to do with it. I mean, maybe I'm reading into it. Phish at this time was kind of in a weird place with audience. There were a lot of white caps, and some areas they'd go to was the majority that kind of crowd, more of a drinking crowd. I don't know. I agree on the maze, but I thought Gumbo following it was a good choice. So
yeah, I was gonna say I think the Gumbo for me is like where the primo show starts. And then from Gumbo on, for the most part, I'm good to go.
Yeah, it was pretty funky and a little bit slower, and I think they're starting. You can see the little hints of what's going to come a year or 2 years down the road.
Right, and they are really locked in that Gumbo.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good.
So cool Gumbo, and then here we go. We're already at the stash. How did that happen so fast? So here we are.
It did.
Is this a magic stash? Well, based on the foreshadowing that Sam has presented to you so far, I'm suspecting that he's not on board with the entire thing. I very much am. I really love this jam. Yeah.
In the Phish Companion, they say one of the top 10 musical moments of Phish's career.
Okay. Something to be discussed.
Well,
let's discuss
must
it.
hear kind of talk. I mean, so the stash itself is stash with a little Manteca jam, stash, Dogface Boy, stash.
Right.
So there's kind of 3 separate stash sections, plus they weave in, a little tease song and then an a cappella version of another song.
Right.
So it is about 30 minutes of stash for the most part.
Yeah.
And I thought, I really liked like 4 minutes. And I thought the other, I beyond that, it felt like stash. Like I thought it was fine. It was a good version.
Yeah.
They kind of get into it, and they could, before it drops into the Plinko section where Trey goes on mini drum kit and Mike's doing a lot of harmonics and Fishman's playing a lot of woodblock, and then it comes into Manteca. They kind of could have wove right out of stash and had it be a nice tight 12-minute stash.
Sure.
So I thought it was great that they pulled out of that and decided to improvise a little. I thought the Manteca was very good, and tease for coming up. Hopefully during this part, we're going to discuss our favorite Mantecas.
Yep.
And then that second stash section was pretty great. That's where my favorite parts were, in the middle, between Manteca and Dogface Boy. I thought there were some really pretty quiet parts, some really deep, gentle parts, but they kept bringing the coda back into stash, which was great. I don't know.
Well, what I said about that section was about 7 minutes post to the Manteca, they hit the melodic bliss type jam, and Trey's just pounding on that watery tone. It is you're floating on a psychedelic cloud, and it is quite beautiful.
Yeah, that was really nice.
But at the same time, they do like a really good job of holding on to the stash theme.
I agree. It's good.
Yeah, they're not noodling. It's not just space. They're like really playing with stash itself and creating something new. And I think this speaks to the new 95 kind of jamming style. And I do feel like what they're doing here is a bit unique from previous years. But to go back a little bit, I really do love.
Yeah, sell me.
Yeah,
because if someone said top 100 Phish jams, I'd say it might make that list.
Sure.
Top 10 is insane.
Yeah.
And for it to lift a show that, I mean, there's some good parts of the show.
Yeah.
But for this song to be the thing that lifts the show into the top 100, I don't perceive this as better than, the Fleaser show that we talked about a couple episodes back.
Sure.
In the summer.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is going to achieve greatness of the shows we're about to discuss in December 95. So I appreciate what it is. I appreciate that this stash is very good. It is really good and has some fun sections. But laying down on my back in a very altered, deep state of mind, listening to this, I remembered too this time, this didn't do it for me when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it never has. Like, I don't know what it is about just this show, but it's just kind of always like everyone talks about it in hushed tones.
Yeah.
And I was excited to get here again. And then it was like, maybe I'm underwhelmed because the hype was too big. I'm not sure.
You're out 11, 14, 95. Yeah. Well, I was already
prove me wrong.
Well, I was already kind of on the line as far as the show as a whole goes. But yeah, I've always had a fondness for this stash. I adore this staccato playing that Trey does. I know it's so simple, and I actually remember having a conversation with like you and Tack about this back in the day, just being like, I love when he's doing this staccato, and you guys were just like, whatever, that's not that hard to do. But it's
rhythmic. It's cool. It's part of like the mini drum kit stuff too, where it's just very rhythmic, and I think it pulls Mike and Fishman into this different, unique conversation too. Yeah. Rhythmically, it's cool.
And I like the way he does it kind of offhandedly, seemingly at first. And then a couple minutes later, he's like, oh, I kind of like the way that sounded. I'm really going to lay into it now. And then it really gets very plucky. And you're like, oh, okay.
I liked a minute and a half to 2 minutes of all of the 3 stash sections.
Right.
I really did.
Right.
But I thought there was a lot of filler, and there was a lot of, hey, check it out, we're back at stash again. And it was less successful than like the recurring tweezer and the bomb factory.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think up to like it gets to like 6 minutes or so, and then it's got like this, I don't know how to describe it, maybe like a While My Guitar Gently Weeps type of progression, type of jam to it, like almost kind of like a tweezer meets While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And they're kind of rocking on that for a few minutes, goes back into stash, and they keep building, and it's like energy building. And then to me, when they get to about 11 minutes, 10 and a half, 11 minutes, this is what popped into my head. I was so in the moment, enjoy listening to this moment in the stash, that I was thinking about the Seinfeld episode where George learns to leave on a high note. Where he's just like, he says something funny and then he's like, I'm out, and he walks out the door. And I was just listening to that part of stash like right around 12 minutes, and I'm like, holy shit, this is like, they could just wrap this up and walk off stage, and I would have been like, oh my god, what did you just do? I don't know why my brain perceives that part of stash as so perfection, but I think there's a lot of parts to this jam that seem so composed, that are just so perfectly played, and so it just seems so purposeful, and having listened to all the stashes, we know it's not. We know it was totally improvised, but it sounds really, really tight.
Yeah. I mean, everybody should be listening to this still. Yeah. Take what I say with a grain of salt, but I think everybody should be. It is a must listen. I get that part.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I wouldn't. If I was making lists or shows for people to go listen to, I just don't think this would be there.
Right.
I think the first set is user-friendly and really good playing, but didn't blow my mind. And I thought this set was a little... I mean, if you were there, I kind of get it. The Maze Gumbo is fine. And the stash is the big middle.
Yeah.
And it's kind of... It's a lot. I think it's a lot for someone to digest, and I think it has some real boring, not boring.
Yeah.
It has some real like plodding sections where I guess if you were there and you were in the moment, I think it would work. But I think for our listening purposes, which I think we both try to spend some time with headphones, laying down, sitting down, relaxing, really getting into it, I thought there were some real drag moments.
Right.
Where they're coming back to Stash or getting really dissonant with Stash. And
right.
Yeah, it felt like they just kept elongating a Stash without it being different, I guess.
It's true. And yeah, this is the tough, like, it's not for beginners. Although if I did know somebody that was interested in hearing some incredible segues, this Jan has some unfucking believable segues. So,
yeah, and I mean, I'm such a fan of Dog-Faced Boy. I really am. And the way they drop it in between this, like, just dissonant chaos, and it's almost a cappella, was beautiful.
Oh, it's very moving. I think it's far and away the most moving version of Dog-Faced Boy for that very reason.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That song comes out in some really cool places.
Yeah.
And I thought that there was some really post Dog-Faced Boy, the end of Stash, and before they finish it, again, Fishman is almost just soloing. Like his playing was. I started paying attention to Fishman a lot during this show, but especially in the Stash, because I got a little bored with some of the dissonance and like Trey being very kind of hoggy with some of it. And I thought Fishman fought back by being really avant-garde and out front for a drummer. I thought it was maybe he's coming off the, it was just a week or 2 weeks before when they did Quadrophenia. So maybe he's still got some of the Mooney in him, but
he's got the Mooney in him.
He played really, really well. I thought he was kind of the star of a lot of the show.
Yeah, he did. He was amazing. Yeah, the Dog-Faced Boy was. We kind of skipped over the Manteca. We'll go back to it after we finish the Dog-Faced Boy.
Okay.
But yeah, it's so slow. It's so airy, and it has this like bass push from the bottom that it takes on this tone of tragedy. Like it's like an epic tragedy. And it's kind of funny because it's like such this short, silly, nothing song. But in this presentation, in this particular frame, it takes on a tremendous amount of weight. And I think that's very cool.
And beautiful lyrics. I mean, we've said that all along when
Yeah.
we've discussed this song, but beautiful lyrics. Big fan.
But
So let's reverse to Manteca. We're gonna deep dive Manteca a little, which is, I mean, it's on Picture of Nectar, and it's 29 seconds long on Picture of Nectar. Mm-hmm. It's a Dizzy Gillespie cover-ish, I guess, cover-ish.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same minus the lyrics.
I'm gonna be vulnerable. So I've been a Phish fan for a long time. Long time. I don't read lyrics usually. I
Yeah.
feel like I get pretty good understanding. These are like scat lyrics, sort of. So
Uh-huh.
they're just silly made up stuff over a melody, which happened a lot to jazz standards back in the day.
Right.
My analyst told me, like that kind of thing, where it was already a written song and then someone wrote lyrics to it.
Right.
So I had thought until I did research for this very podcast we're recording that it was grabbing my shoe mouth.
Right.
And then I did research that it's crab in my
Yeah.
shoe mouth.
Right. Close enough, Sam. Close enough.
I don't think I'm wrong. That's like I'll own up. I'll understand that the world thinks it's crab,
Yeah.
but it's so much worse.
This is it was always one of my favorite songs off that album, which I know is ridiculous because it's only 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But it was like one of those ones that I would listen to the album and then I would be in work and I would just all night I would be singing not crab in my shoe mouth, but grab in my shoe mouth.
Grab in my shoe mouth.
For
It's
years
the
and
best.
years and years before I realized that till I read just like you
It's
that
not
it was
just
grab
me.
in my shoe mouth. Yeah, so I mean it's just one of those lyrics that sounds like grab in my shoe mouth and they both work great. I mean, it doesn't. They both are clever and very fishy, and yeah, so they both work for me. And I'm not whatever you want to sing. I've got your back.
Well, when I think literally though, having a crab in my shoe mouth, I don't like that because it's either your mouth is like a shoe and there's a crab in it, or you have a shoe and the hole in the shoe where your foot goes is the mouth, and there's a crab in your shoe. Now, the visual construct of grabbing my shoe mouth is way more fun. Like I think you can
Right.
go down a lot of better avenues. So I'm just saying maybe we change this permanently.
Wait, did you discuss
Get
the
that out to the
possibility of it's like you've got a shoe mouth because you said something you shouldn't have said, but
Ooh, yep.
So that's why you've got the shoe in your mouth. But
Which
it was
foot in
kind of
your mouth?
extra bad what you said. So it's actually like a crab biting the inside. You've got like a crab biting
Oh,
the
that's
inside of
possible.
your mouth.
That's possible.
So
That's
it was like
possible.
a step beyond having the shoe in your mouth. So yeah, I think there's a lot of possible interpretations. Tom, will you get back to us and just let us know what's happening?
Yeah, also why we listen to a lot of versions of this independently, I'm sure. Why almost every version does Trey start laughing when he says the lyrics? Like I get that it's funny, but he just starts cracking up every time.
It's like an
it's a
inside
joke that never
It's
ends for him.
It's got to be an inside joke. But yes, actually, I did listen to all 11 performed versions. I believe it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of teases, but
Yeah,
we
I didn't
listened.
bother with the
We
teases.
listened to all of them, I'm sure. This was an easy one.
Yeah,
Go listen to all of them.
It was an easy one.
I mean, this one from this show, I don't think would have made my top 3. I thought it was
okay.
great though.
Interesting.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I liked how Trey was on the drum kit when it started. I like how Mike went from his harmonics right to it. And I thought it was grooving for a minute. I thought it was a nice transition piece, which the song seems to act as.
Yeah. Yeah. I like one of the things I like about this stash is the repetition of themes. And they do a really nice job of kind of continuing the themes throughout between the segues. And in this transition into Manteca, Trey gets a little plucky. And I feel like he's kind of bringing back that staccato a little bit, like not totally,
Sure.
but almost kind of like I hear you, Trey. I hear it. I hear what's going on. And I like that. And then I also think the segue into and out of are pretty great.
Yeah,
Again,
I agree.
big fan of the
It's good.
segues. But yeah,
It's very good.
So let's talk about our Mantecas. Seems like a silly thing to get into, but I do feel like it's a special thing. I mean, they only did it like 11 entries, like really in the jam chart here. They really only played it so many times, so it's pretty rare.
Yeah, they have a whole tease section after that where they're
right.
like, here's all the times it's teased. And I want to stay away from that.
Yeah. Yeah, we
There
want
are
to
some
go where
really
they're
good-
actually saying crab in my shoe mouth. It's like the saying
Yeah,
the
the
lyrics.
7894 Manteca tease during the Reba is huge and beautiful. It's great. I
Right.
love that little groove. But that's not Manteca.
Right. And yeah, I loved Manteca so much off of the album. And then actually after having heard this show, and then there was a third show that I heard with a Manteca. And then once I heard that show, we were off to the races in terms of it being very high on my wish list to see at shows.
Yeah.
And eventually We'll get
Yeah,
there.
we got it.
Okay, Sam, what's your first one?
I'm going to go chronological this time.
Okay.
So my first one is 10/28/94 in Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the Bowie,
Yeah.
and I called it the Dark Metal Tekka.
Okay.
I thought it was really great. I thought it was metal and dark and evil and just fantastic because it was different. I mean, I listened to all these other ones that were really great. The 5/3/93, the 2/22. No, I'm sorry, the 12/28/90. There was like some early ones I really liked.
Yeah.
But I thought this 94 one was cool because it was just metal and different.
Yeah. It was quite a bit different. I think I've got like a little stick in my butt about this Bowie. I don't know what it is about this Bowie, but I've listened to it a number of times and I just, I just can't connect with it. Like it's good.
Yeah, I thought the Bowie was fine, but I really
but the
liked the
Manteca was really cool. Yeah, well, since you brought it up, I thought the 5/3/93 tweezer Manteca tweezer was just insane. I thought it was incredible.
Crab in my shoe mouth. Crab in my shoe mouth. Crab in my shoe mouth. Crab in my shoe mouth.
And
the jam out of it was sick.
Yeah, that was what I was just
really
going to say. Is this is the one Manteca that has a pre-jam, it has Manteca, and it has a post-jam. And they're all different. And they're playing along the Manteca themes. Like, they're playing with the Manteca theme for a while, and you're like, oh, listen to the Manteca. It's kind of weird what they're doing. And then they bust into the real Manteca. They play it with lyrics. And then it transitions to this incredible jam that it's just like...
that jam was great.
Yeah, it was like a cross between a Manteca jam and a Bowie jam. And I think that's well worth a listen.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
And then we brought that one up. I'll jump back to the beginning because I just want to bring this one up. It's early, but it's 11/4/1990 in Colorado. And I believe this is their first show as Phish 2000 since they declared on 11/3. Is that not? I believe that's right. That was an inside joke for all you people that know about Phish 2000.
When they started early, just 10 years. 10 years.
But I love this version because it's a little sloppy, it's silly, and it is kind of like the live version of the album version. But the reason why I'm recommending this and saying that this is an absolute must listen for all Phish fans is the Caravan that comes after it. And isn't it Caravan? It's not A-Train, right?
Yeah, and the way it goes into Caravan, too.
Yeah,
From
and the Caravan
Manteca's
itself
great.
is amazing. Like, I was just
Oh, yeah.
listening to it, just being like, oh my God, to see them do
Yeah.
this, wow. And to
Yeah.
bookend it with the Weekapaw that precedes it, the Mics and Hydrogen are fine, but the Weekapaw is pretty special. It's a great high energy early Weekapaw. So if you're looking for a cool little run, I say Weekapaw, Manteca, Caravan. You're going to be a happy camper from 11/4/90.
You know, I'm surprised one of those fall 90 shows from Colorado, they all sound like all the soundboard releases sound incredible.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised one of those didn't make the list.
Right, yeah.
I mean, maybe we go back and do like a deep dive at the end here when we're taking shows off, putting them on.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I was, getting really deep into my Phish tape trading, I got a few shows from that run.
Yeah, the 11, 2,
I think
3,
12.
and 4. Yeah.
Yeah, they all sound so good.
Yeah.
And all the jazziness and the tightness, and there were barely anyone at those shows. And just the precision playing and the loose parts. And I love that Phish.
Yeah.
That Phish was like, I dreamed to always go back to that Phish. Like I'd missed that. And my career, I got into Phish when they were big already. So,
well, I think Phish obviously thinks the same thing. I mean, otherwise, why would they have made that Phish 2000 joke at Big Cypress? I mean, that was like kind of crazy that this is what happened at Big Cypress. They like in the morning, and then Fishman came out when he was doing his Love You, and he was like, ladies and gentlemen, Phish 2000. But I believe it was 11/3/90. They come out and they're introduced as Phish 2000. And I believe those are the only 2 times it's ever been mentioned. So I think they were referring back to those shows. So if they're remembering that,
I think we mentioned that on New Year's too. We're like, they're referencing this thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we had that discussion then, or maybe it was the day after. That was a wild few days.
Yeah. So yeah, those are mine. So what's your second then?
I'm going to the one that's probably on your list, which I'd say top 5 most fun Phish shows I've ever seen in my life, which was 10/30/98.
That is indeed my third. Yeah.
It's the Stash Manteca Tweezer was just, I mean, everybody needs to go find this. And it's officially released. It's on the Halloween 98 as filler. They put the whole set.
Yeah.
Sadly, they didn't put the first set too, because every single part of this show, it's a tight show. It's not long.
Yeah.
But dude, the stash was fabulous, if we're talking good stashes. Short, beautiful, perfect. Segues so beautifully into Manteca.
And they had
And
the
the
skills,
Mantecas-
and they had the rhythm skills
Oh, it's
to
so
really
tight and
to really pull it
grooving
off at this point. There's like no more humor to it. It is legitimately just like, that's sick. Yeah.
And the transition, the Manteca jam that goes directly segues into Tweezer. These are all arrows, like true arrows. And then my favorite part of the whole thing is during the Tweezer intro, like when they're doing the lyric section, the compose section of Tweezer, Trey teases Manteca, like just once. And it's beautifully woven because it's in the same key as Tweezer, and it's beautifully woven in. During his Tweezer line, he just briefly weaves a Manteca line in. And I remember being at the show just like losing my shit when that happened. And every time I hear it, I still do. It's like one of those little Phish moments of absolute perfection.
We saw a Manteca. We saw
one of the best Mantecas ever.
I was like borderline heart attack happy while that stash was happening in the moment. I was just like, what is even? And especially since it was a stash Manteca too. It was like, oh.
And the minute they started teasing it, you're like, okay. But then it hit full. It was special. It was a really great moment in our Phish career.
A couple other shout outs. Sam mentioned it before, but I do really like this 12/28/90 performance as well. Really great segue from Tweezer into Manteca. There is a quick moment because it's a beautiful sounding recording. This was the show that apparently Elektra was at, and they scored their record deal. So
they're really great Mike bass playing too in that.
But he's a little loud in the recording. So like when he comes in Manteca, it's like kind of hurts your ears.
Yeah.
So I would just prepare for that. But a great version. And then just because I know Sam didn't, I listened to a couple of 3.0 Mantecas here, and they're not great. But I do want to give a shout out to the 5/28/2011 Bethel Woods New York show.
You want me to blow your mind?
No, I mean
that's my number 3.
That's your number 3?
That's my number 3.
Really?
That's my number 3. This is my first 3.0 thing that I have ever referenced as positive, I think, on this pod. No, I've referenced a couple. But this was, I went and listened to all of them because there weren't that many.
Yeah.
And this was pretty sick.
It was.
I don't like that people call it the Golden Gin Teca. I mean, everyone's trying to name...
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm shitting on so many young people that love this band, but just everyone needs a fucking name for a show. Like it's like shows used to get names like through whisper trains and like people just talked about it in hushed tones, and now it's like the day after a show has a fucking name and everyone's like trying to name it and giving it greatest show ever status. Anyway, I will never say the phrase Golden Gin Teca again. That was the last one. But it's in a bathtub gin, and they do a Manteca tease, and it's really nice, and then they do the lyrics. And there's some Trey problems that I have, some tone issues, and I'm not happy with it, but the Mike Fishman page work, and it's a long Manteca jam.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. What made you feel strongly about it? Because we obviously both did.
What I feel strongly about is this show, in general. And not all of it's great, but it has several moments that really stand out for 2011. And I really think the band was into it on this night. Like I feel like if you asked the band, they would be like, yeah, that was a special night. But yeah, I just liked the playfulness of this one. I liked the polyrhythms, and I just liked the playfulness of it. And whereas we're kind of used to hearing it in tweezer mode, I like hearing it in bathtub gin mode, and that kind of like
it was bouncy.
Yeah, it changes the bounciness of it. But I know it seems weird to say this, but the backward down the number line from the show is legitimately brilliant. It is brilliant. And
I really like that song.
Anybody. I think that the Makasupa Policeman is hilarious. It's the In My House Makasupa, where they, I don't know if you remember it, but like when you listen to it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Pretty famous. And the Harry Hood, also great. And then you kind of imagine it that it's happening on the site of Woodstock, and just very cool. I recommend the show to everybody.
Yeah, I do kind of remember when the show happened. I still listen to 3.0 stuff now and then. And I remember enjoying some of this a lot.
Yeah.
And going back and listening, I mean, they bring it back around really nice to Bathtub Gin. Out of the Man, it's slick. It's really well done. It has some really beautiful full band playing, and it's long. Yeah. There were a lot of the Mantecas were, 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute.
Right.
But this one really stretched out. And the other 3.0 was the 222.20.
That I wasn't a fan of.
And no, there were a couple cool parts.
Yeah.
I listened to that one first, actually. I was like, no, I guess I'll listen to this other 3.0 one. And maybe juxtaposed to that, I was like, wow, this is great. So I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was beautiful music.
Well, cool. That was unexpected.
Yeah, I tried to. Yeah, I was holding that one back.
Cool.
But yeah, I thought it was good. And then now back to the show we're discussing. We're through the stash and we hit Strange Design, which really seems to come up a lot at this time. Yeah. It's the non-Billy Breathe song again. It should have made it, but I think it was really well placed between the two huge parts of this set, between the stash and the You Enjoy Myself.
Yeah, it definitely works. So, it works in its placement. But like you and the crab and my shoe mouth lyric, I've never been fully able to embrace the dripping lyric. In my head, it's tripping, and I'm just gonna ride that wave. So
sometimes I hear it as dripping.
Well, it is dripping. The lyric is dripping in this Strange Design.
Okay, good.
I think it should be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's what I think.
I like the lyric as dripping, but I also. There are some lyrical moments in Strange Design that rub a listener in a kind of a weird way. Me, like, I get what you're saying. And I haven't gone and read them. There's just some ambiguity, like you say, to some of the parts. And I get the companions. I get like it's a arm around your friend vibe at times.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think lyrically, there's a couple moments that could have been refined, and this song could have been really big.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not big. Big's the wrong word, but like, more of a staple and more of a, people would request it more.
It's lovely and it's catchy, both. Yeah.
Yeah, musically it's great. I love the melody. They really keep the tempo down on this one nicely. They don't rush it. It's great. And I like the sentiment of the lyrics a lot too. I just think it's a little, there's some weird ambiguity that I'm not quite sure of.
Right.
But maybe it's supposed to be that way. I'd like to think so.
I plan on running into Paige one day, and we'll discuss Strange Design one day.
Yeah.
And then we get to the final You Enjoy Myself here, which is kind of this is the rub. If this You Enjoy Myself was really and honestly truly great, I would be like, okay, maybe. But it's just an average 95 yen. That's my take.
I think you and I are both on the same page with this one. It gets a headphone, which I've heard better You Enjoy Myself that don't get a headphone.
Yep.
And I mean, go for it. The Immigrant Song Jam part is cool. Mm-hmm. I thought that Fishman crushes it again. I thought it was real like rock and roll and upbeat, kind of like you said with the Maze, where it does get kind of like rocking, like for You Enjoy Myself. And I thought it was really good. The immigrant song part, like post-immigrant song, was really cool. And I get and a super long bass solo again.
Yeah.
But I don't think this stands up to the summer 95 show we just did.
No, I don't think so either, yeah.
I thought that one was far superior to this. And I mean, it was good. It was, and to end the show after that, I get it. They're like, Stash was the big thing.
Yeah.
And to walk off after a vocal jam is just fun.
Yeah.
That has to feel really good. And I thought the encore, I don't know. What did you think about the wedge?
I didn't love it. I mean, I guess I can see why they chose it because the ocean and they're not really on the ocean. They're in Orlando, so it doesn't make super amount of sense. But yeah, I get why they played it, but it's not my favorite version of the wedge. I think the wedge is like one of those songs that when they nail it, and when they don't, you're like, yeah, it's cool. But yeah, I wasn't blown away by it.
Yeah, I appreciated. I mean, maybe Orlando's kind of a small market, and they were trying some different things this night, and.
Yeah.
You know, like let's encore with the wedge. It's been a while, and let's try it out.
Yeah.
So I liked it. And Rocky Top's always a nice, bluegrassy rocket ending. I get it. I don't know. I think the Stash stands alone as an interesting part of the show, but I give or take almost everything outside of the Stash.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. And as we get further along, where the jams start, like in '97. Or 98, where we're going to be looking at a lot of shows that have incredible 25 to 30 minute jams. And then the rest of the show is like, okay. I feel like this is one of those shows. So do you put a show on just because it has this magnificent jam? And it is magnificent by all means. Please listen to it. But yeah, the show as a whole.
The Finger Lakes Tweezer from the summer, I think, is better.
Yeah. Well,
and that show has more around it, I think, than this. But it's okay. It's all right. I think to put it on the list is totally understandable.
Does the Finger
Lakes
Tweezer
lore.
have any staccato or?
Yeah, we got to get the staccato. A little anecdote to this as well. The official release has some sound check stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you listened to it.
I didn't.
But it has a Poor Heart. That there's some silliness and some improvised lyrics that were funny. I was like, whatever. It's a sound check. This is funny. Then they do a dog log that is like, they always do dog log at sound check. It's like slow and bluesy and like pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Most of this filler I'll take or leave a lot of the time. This was really, really cool. I'd seek out the dog log filler if you're listening and you want to.
I forget about that.
It's fun. It's really fun. It's something to do. But yeah, overall, I mean, we'll see how the rest of 95 shakes out. We're about to get into a lot of December.
Yeah.
And December's going to be really fun. And, we're going to end New Year's 95, which is, a behemoth. But we may boot this one. Yep. This one's right on the fence.
Yeah.
I think it's the Stash has a lot of heavy lifting to do in my brain still.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it will. But it was great. I enjoyed it. And I think our next episode 32 being 11/30/95, the magic 11/30 date, is going to be a super fun one to discuss. And I've already started listening a little bit, and it sounds great. And I'm just enjoying the first set right now and trying to remember that one. Like this run of 95 shows we're about to hit, I think it's a period of Phish that was never done again.
Right.
That kind of playing, the kind of improvising they were doing, the precision. I think once they get to 96 is when the first moments of funk start to creep in and more groove-based playing starts to creep in a little more. And then we're into different Phish.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're kind of witnessing the end of an era here in fall 95.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to spend the next, handful of episodes on it.
Me too. What else we got?
Yeah.
We're like so mellow tonight. We're like, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's this. I'm in a new physical location, and it's very comfortable. Normally, I'm in my chair. I'm on a couch.
My physical location
sitting
is
back.
probably like 95 degrees, and I forgot to turn on a fan before we started recording, so now my clothes are all wet. But that's okay. I needed
Yes.
to burn off some toxins. This is working out great for me.
You are not supposed to have a fan on when you record, and it's about 90 here, and I had to shut all the windows too. So we're just both sweating.
Okay. Sounds
Sweating to the oldies, I guess.
All right. What else do we have to recommend here, Sam?
I've got nothing this week.
Got nothing.
I'm watching a lot of great TV.
Yep.
I just got, I don't think I've talked to you since then, but for my birthday, I got Wolfpack tickets in New York for the fall.
Happy belated birthday.
So-
Very nice.
Yeah, thanks. That's going to be really fun. They're only playing a few shows this whole year in America. So
Wow.
it's at the Bowery Ballroom
Oh,
in Brooklyn. So that's going to
cool.
be
That's
fun.
Storied venue.
Yeah. And they're doing, it's like 4 nights, 3 nights, 2 shows a night. And then that's it for the whole summer, fall. So it's going to be great.
Cool.
So I have an actual show to go to, which is rare in my life.
Yeah.
I'm listening to a ton of music. I think I stumbled upon the single best Spotify radio station in the world.
Oh, what's that?
It is Culture Club Radio.
Okay.
Just put on Culture Club Radio,
Uh-huh.
put it on random, and your life will just be exponentially better.
Okay.
It's every song that was like uplifting and awesome when you were a little kid.
Cool.
It is the
I'm
absolute
going
best.
to throw that on. Yeah, Sam recommended that I listen to this podcast, the 60 songs that changed the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And the most
Episode
recent-
100.
Yeah, episode 100 was They Might Be Giants, Birdhouse in Your Soul. But the guy who does this show really loves They Might Be Giants, is one of his favorites. So this was like a lot of information I didn't know. And he
Oh, cool.
presented it in a very personal way that brought up a lot of memories of my childhood and some really deep analyzations of some of their silly musics. Silly musics. What is that?
Musics.
But just like some of the ways that he would talk about, well, is this lyric silly or is it super deep? And he would kind of go through it, and I was just like, holy shit. You're right.
He is a very, very self-deprecating, intelligent
Yeah.
music writer, thinker, and for him to come out and say like, this is my favorite band, and I've been dying to do it. And when he and I are the exact same age, and when I was a kid, a teen, I loved They Might Be Giants as well. And I remember when I met my wife, who is my wife now, but we were 16. And she was a huge, and continues to this day to be a huge They Might Be Giants fan.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. When you meet another They Might Be Giants fan, it's like you are instantly simpatico.
Right.
It's a very special thing. And so I've loved Rob's podcast, and he has mentioned They Might Be Giants a number of times.
Yeah,
but I was waiting for this
he was
episode.
like, I've said it on 12 different episodes. On
Yep.
this episode, this episode, this episode.
And I just kept thinking, what is it ever going to happen?
Right.
And I'm so happy it happened. And what do you think about the controversial No as being the third best album they've ever put out?
I do think No is really an incredible album. I mean, I don't know that I'd choose it third for me personally, but it's certainly maybe on the top 5. And especially like,
I love that he dropped it too.
Yeah.
Like, that's his style.
oh, like
It
when
was
I
really
listen to
great.
it with my kids, I mean, just like, there's a house in the middle,
Yeah.
like there's just so many
Yep.
super catchy songs on that end up sticking with me that I do think that it is sort of a minor masterstroke.
Yeah. And Dr. Worm is possibly one of the top 3 greatest They Might Be Giants songs for sure.
And I didn't agree with, like, because he's kind of said there's just as many good songs on the Else and, you know, the Spine or whatever as some of the other albums. And I was like, well, that's, I don't know if I agree with that, but I'm glad that he thinks so. That's great.
Yeah, I'm in love with the period when they got a new band too, like John Henry, and like I just love that stretch. I thought once they got a full band and there were a lot of horns, and there's just so many. Oh, I fucking love that band so much. Anyone who's our throngs of crazy listeners, go blow up everything They Might Be Giants and spend the next month between now and when we release our next show just filling your life with all the joy and heartbreak and angst and I had to miss
They Might Be Giants and Sparks just played a show at the Hollywood Bowl, and Susie and I really wanted to go, and it was the first time either one of them have played at the Hollywood Bowl, so it was a big deal for them too. But it was on a Sunday night, we just couldn't make it happen. But yeah, what a show that would be, huh?
Yeah, Sparks too, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I think we've done it, everybody. Episode 31.
Yeah, that was great. I don't know that it'll make the list, but I'm really happy to have dug into it. I felt like I was mining this one. I kept breaking rocks away and thinking I was going to find the diamonds, and I didn't, but I liked the work. Right. It was good work.
It's in the journey. It's in the journey, people. Okay, Sam.
Yeah, this one was in the journey.
Well, I look forward to discussing 11/30/95 with you very soon.
Yes,
and
we will.
To all our listeners out there, be well, and we appreciate you listening to us jibber jabber.
Yeah, have a beautiful day, and we will be in your ears sometime soon.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night. Hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companion2thecompanion@gmail.com.